Fala galera, tudo bem com vocês? No último domingo, o MIBR venceu a Cloud9 por 2-1 em um verdadeiro jogão, onde o Cortezia foi um dos destaques, que além de junto com aspas liderar o ranking de abates, também ganhou bastante espaço lurkeando e ainda ganhou clutches importantes. E nessa segunda, durante o último episódio do Plat Chat, os casters gringos analisaram e elogiaram bastante o Cortezia, e separamos alguns trechos aqui para conferirmos, saca só?
Yeah, this was peak. For the week at least, because as you said, it was good Valorant. I've ordered the calling overall. The thing that's really impressed me these past few weeks with Cloud9 has been that their ideas. They tend to have a pretty good read on what a team is trying to approach and go for, especially out of timeouts. And there was a lot of mind games going on between MIBR, and MIBR's calling was also fantastic, which I think is it's ARTZIN, right, who's calling for MIBR. Yeah, I've been dead impressed with the calling of both of these teams, to be honest, and it showcased, I think, in the way that they were working. You get treated, I think, the macro play of teams often gets highlighted the most on maps like Lotus and Haven, because you end up working a map a lot more. It's kind of like a requirement to try and at least break some util before you go into side hits, or you can go into side hits if you're Cloud9, you can just hit C for 8 rounds in a row. But we got to saw, in my opinion, I think we saw the best of both of these teams. Arguably, really saw them tested, pushed on a variety of maps as well. It's rare that we're seeing a game at this point, for whatever reason, go to 3 maps between 2 teams, and it's still competitive even to the end, even if it was only competitive on the one halves of Haven. But yeah, it's looking. It was just exciting, to be honest. It was just exciting, and it was a good showcase, and yeah. I
have a funny story. When I did the interview with the Fraud when they won. And then I'm like, okay, well, so you had the advantage, 9-3. And then it got kind of close for your map, for the last 2 maps. So how do you make sure that you close it? And then he was like, honestly, I wasn't even thinking about that. I just thought we were gonna lose the 11-3 lead like we did in Lock-In, and that was the only thing I had in mind. So I thought it was gonna happen again. The curse of me and Aspas losing last map to the fucking 3-11 curse in Brazil. So he was like, well, at least we didn't have to do that. We didn't lose that. It's all good. But
I think like if there was a flavor for MIBR that was like consistent through every single map, it was Cortezia. Like he was doing a really good job at like in these kind of cerebral push pull maps, being like the fulcrum, like or the middle of the compass when you draw a circle around it. Like he was doing a really good job at even finding like some of these picks. On Haven in the very start, like his A control, this guy, if you look at some of these other teams that have like newer players coming in, and is Cortezia like considered a rookie as well, or am I tripping?
Yeah.
Like he does not look or feel like a rookie when he's in these situations. No, he like walks up A long, no information on Cypher, like taking space, being in proactive positions, then waits for his duelist to come in, like waits a good like 8 seconds while the sight hit's still happening from short. His protocols are just so good, and it's round after round where this is possible on attack. Even on Lotus, it was kind of the same thing with them on the defensive side. Like Vise can do so much to stop things from happening. When he's the main character, I feel like MIBR have like a really good voice in the server. You switch over to like a different round, and like now you have Haven attack side where the Sentinel kind of, you know, can do stuff, but isn't kind of the main character of the situation. Even if your site's getting hit 24/7 over and over again, the state of util in this game is like so hard for Sentinel to be able to do something, especially Cortezia's like slow playstyle. Yeah,
I would argue that it's even more essential, to be honest, that you have a Sentinel player that's willing to be proactive on maps like Haven and Lotus. Because maybe not Lotus if they're playing. It depends on the playstyle, but there's so many parallels actually between the way that Loud are relying on Luxo and how MIBR are relying on Cortezia to make sure that they have these late round options when the first wave of like their game plan goes wrong. And they need a pivot option because they were always inserting their Sentinel player, and Cortezia was getting punished a ton in this game and would consistently kill first player and kill the second player trying to trade out, like consistently throughout this entire series. Honestly, the level of play that he was on was unreal, and there's so many rounds that just don't go their way, to be honest, if he's not pulling off the shit that he was doing.
I think you brought up a really good point, which was that Cloud9 weren't just ignoring him; they were actually trying to deal with him. They were trying to sometimes wait for him, sometimes be proactive about it, but then Cortezia was outplaying them a lot of the time, and
but that's so confident. He's so confident, it's crazy.
Yeah, it seemed like at the beginning, like on that first map of Pearl, they were not really punishing it as much, so Cortezia was always playing towards mid, always getting 1 and 2, like Bren was saying. And then it was like you started seeing those plays with Cloud9. It was 4 mid, just trying to take it down Cortezia, like whatever it takes to take this guy down. And then it was like transferring to like what they were doing in Haven on the last few maps too. So, but Cortezia has been doing this since that last match. He's like one of the most proactive sentinels that we have right now. I feel like we don't see it as much anymore in general, but he's just always there. I don't think he's overdoing it, but it's definitely, now you're getting more into, okay, I know where Cortezia is going to be, or I know what the timing is going to be. So, which is what Cloud9 was trying to punish, but I mean, individually, he's just been insane. So it's not that easy to do unless you send 4 guys mid to take him down.
Yeah.
That round specifically too, it's just such a genius salvo to throw from sight, because like you're not sure if people are going to be walking up again. If that Tejo's like a little bit more centered towards mid, you look back at door, the person in Link is like kind of 50-50 between looking left and right. He doesn't know what's going on. Cortezia peaks at the perfect time. And also like I just become such a bigger fan of MIBR. There's more confidence in looking at them as like a top 3, top 2 team getting closer to G2, because Verno then gets to play with a team where he has so much confidence in all these roles that his teammates are excelling at so much. In the clutch, he's like a person will just end up in a 1v2 on top. And he's done that so much for MIBR in this series as well. Like, he played great. He's enabled to be playing well as well. Osboss is like a demon too. Like the team is structuring to be good. I don't know what maps they have like coming up next, or what matchups they have coming up next. It's like NRG and FURIA are their next 2 matchups. Like they look to be ending pretty strong here on the end of Americas.
Yeah.
Even in terms of testing new things out with all their players, like if you want to get other people elevated to that status, you have like 2 really good matchups to try a bunch of things. Like you're already a winning team in the region, right? Like they're what, 2-1 right now? Yeah, they need like 1 more win and they're slated for playoffs. Like
2-1.
Pois é, mas e aí, qual a sua opinião sobre isso? Já deixa aí nos comentários, pois seguindo falando sobre o MIBR, após a partida, o ARTZIN e GL da equipe deu uma entrevista para o Bruno Pavoleri. E durante a entrevista comentou sobre os resultados ruins da Loud e FURIA, saca só?
A gente tem passado por uma má fase de times brasileiros, né, no VCT Américas. A gente tem Loud 03, FURIA 03, 2Game 1-2, mas o MIBR é uma exceção. E aí eu queria saber de você, meio que 2 perguntas em uma, de qual que é a sua opinião de por que isso tem acontecido com os times brasileiros e por que isso não tem acontecido com o MIBR.
Cara, realmente é uma pergunta muito difícil de eu te responder, porque acho que cada time é cada time tem seus problemas internos, tem sua mentalidade, seu estilo de jogo. Então é difícil eu pegar e falar pra você por que certo time tá perdendo muito ou não. Mas o que se sobressai hoje é que a gente não tenta seguir o meta totalmente. Claro que é muito importante a gente jogar no meta realmente, mas a gente foca sempre no meio termo de tipo, jogar no meta, mas ao mesmo tempo um bagulho que não fique muito fora da nossa proposta de time. Então acho que isso acaba ajudando principalmente a gente, porque a gente não tenta ser super radical ao meta ou super radical a querer jogar só no nosso conforto. A gente tenta chegar bem no meio termo ali, para que a gente se entenda e se resolva tipo, muito, com mais facilidade dentro do servidor. Então, realmente, eu acho que, tipo, realmente eu creio que é uma má fase dos times brasileiros, querendo ou não. Eu posso falar por mim, eu acho todos os times brasileiros muito bom. A FURIA e a Loud, eu gosto muito dos meninos, eu acho que eles realmente precisam de tempo, um pouco de tempo ainda. Eles podem precisar um pouco de tempo para se adaptar um pouco mais ao meta, ou até mudar algumas coisas no playstyle. Mas, no geral, eu acho que são times com muito potencial. E eu realmente acredito na evolução dos times brasileiros. Acho que ainda não acabou. Então, com certeza, uma coisa é fato, que tipo, todos os times, eles se cobram, né? Eles não estão felizes com o resultado deles. Eu posso falar por mim, porque no nosso ano passado, cara, a cobrança era gigante, a gente não estava feliz com a nossa situação. Então, acho que deve estar se passando mesmo pelos outros times, porque, querendo ou não, todo mundo no Brasil tipo, a mesma mentalidade, é o mesmo... mano, a rapaziada quer ganhar. Então, tipo, realmente uma parada que não tá no conforto deles, eles querem sair dessa zona de conforto e poder melhorar, tá ligado? Então eu acredito muito nisso.
Pois é, vale muito a pena ver a entrevista completa que vai estar aqui na descrição. Mas é isso, pessoal, o vídeo vai ficando por aqui. Deixa sua opinião sobre tudo isso aí nos comentários. Deixa também aquele like e se inscreve aqui no canal pra não perder nada. Aquele abraço, até o próximo vídeo.